Hello and welcome to today's art journal. Each of the art journals that you're seeing is not in any order of preference or from beginning to end. I'll just speak to that particular journal. So this particular journal is was one of the first journals that I did, one of the first journals, and I'd gone out to the store and I'd brought this book. It was they're blank pages, and so it was ideal. I'll show you, I'll be doing a flip through as well. Anyway, so what I decided to do is, because I wanted to create a book that would talk about the change in me. This is what this was supposed to, the purpose it was supposed to serve. Anyway, so all I did was I got some handmade paper from the store. I'd actually got these papers from New York. It was this wonderful paper store, and they had these beautiful types of paper. So I covered it, and then I got this foil. You can emboss on it, and I just embossed 3 women. So I called it Creativity for Change. And what I said here in the reading, it says, I give myself permission to do and be all that I can be, all that God has called me to be, and I will see myself the way God sees me, and I will not lean on my own understanding, in the sense that, you know, we're all made with a higher purpose, and we can't always see the things that God has placed inside of us, the gems that God has placed inside of us. So one of the first images I did was this. I wanted to learn how to create faces that were my kind of faces, in the sense that it was something that I designed. It wasn't a face, you know, that somebody else, but I wanted it to be unique to me. So I just started practicing faces. And as I practiced the faces, I was also doing a little bit of journaling about some of the things that I was interested in, some of the things that I was going through. I started looking after my mother. So this is going back quite a few years. And some of the things that I wanted to address in my journey. So this particular picture was about change. I wanted change in my life, and I wanted to show that the change was occurring with me, and that it involved art and mixed media, because those were the things that I was interested in. So, as I said, I carried on creating faces, creating imagery, and so this one says changing from the inside out. So again, trying different styles of faces that I could then say, well, this is unique to me. This particular one makes me smile because it involved my mum. My mum loved to, or loves to dance, and it says, Mum has dementia. It's in the severe stages, but she can still shimmy. She needs 24-hour care, and in her eyes she's 40 years old. And this was supposed to be me and all the kind of dreams that I had, but I had this responsibility. And so this book also served as a way for me to express how I was feeling about a particular situation, or not even to say, well, you know, oh my gosh, this is so hard and horrible. But the highlight of this was, you know, Mum loved to dance. She loved her red hat. And it was about, you know, well, Mum's looking in the mirror and seeing a 40-year-old, you know, when she's like, at that particular point, she was in her 80s. So I kept on going. And as you can see, you know, I just was thinking about different things that needed to change, things that I'd been through, the loss and family, and affirming that I was an artist, waiting and watching. Now, the thing about So this is a good example. The thing about journals is that you can start them, you can stop them. You don't. There is no, I've got to finish this book. I mean, it's up to you. I've got to finish this book, and I'm not going to move on until I've finished all the pages. Sometimes you don't want to. Like, I mean, not every single page. Well, okay, every single page. Not every single page has like a journal picture, and some of them have pictures that I want to, there was an idea that I had and I want to work on them. So there are some like this that have got the makings of, but I never finished it. It wasn't going the way I wanted to, or, you know, it's something that you can then come back to. So let me show you some more. It says future. Again, just practicing faces, transformation, values. Again, see, so not all of them have painting on them. And again, I was practicing my style. What kind of, what do I want my faces to look like? Do I want to practice, you know, drawing other things? I wanted to work on how do I, you know, like cartoony type. And I just kept going. And the more you draw, the better you get, the more different ideas come out. So there are things that I liked in this particular one that I might not like in another particular one. Like I started doing eyes like this. I mean, I'd seen, it was, you know, I'd done some like this. I wanted them to look realistic, but I had to go through a process. So the eyes looked, you know, very big. If we look at some of the others, very big. But the more I practiced, the more I thought, yeah, I do actually want them to look realistic. Though some of the drawings can, you know, some of them, the effects, you can get a really quite nice effect. So these particular ones are really nice, where what I did was I also then I photographed it and then I edited it in a, like, you know, Photoshop elements, and then you can create prints or cards or whatever it is. So there were some of them that I was able then to use them in other ways, and some of them that I still want to get back to. Like this one, I'm just trying to think what I did with her. I think her chin was really long and I wanted to change it, and so I, you know, just gessoed over. And that's the other thing that I'll probably be repeating several times in your art journal. If you don't like it, you can gesso over it. Or think about why it is you don't like it. Think about what it is, you know. If you do a page, it could be that you're coming back to it. So again, that's why I don't say that, okay, now this is finished, I'm going to put it away. Looking at it now, there are images that I really want to get back to, and some that I might want to turn into larger paintings, or edit them digitally. And there's so many great packages now that you can edit photographs. So these characters, I wanted to stylize some little characters and maybe do a kind of comic strip. So I was just working on some ideas. And here's some writing I did. And then I carried on. You know, I started doing some lettering. Again, this is one of the changes I'm talking about. So this is her original chin, but it's too long. And so I thought, no, I need to change it, but I didn't finish it. But again, you know, it doesn't matter. I can get back to it. A lot of my girls that I did initially had extremely large chins. And so I just decided, yeah, I was going to change them. So I started, I brought a load of Pro Marker pens and I wanted to practice. So again, this was used to practice Pro Marker pen. I like this one. I think I might do something with this. So again, just practice. So that's what, for this first Oh, that's a pretty one. I wanted to do a series of chattel houses, and this was even before I had kind of come to Barbados. But again, practicing with Pro Marker pens. With Pro Marker pens, this kind of paper was wrong, so obviously it bleed through. But it's quite interesting the way this looks, and it'd be interesting to say maybe do something with it. But, you know, just try and practice. Practice, practice, practice. And practice different styles, practice different techniques. This is with the graphite tint. In this particular book, what I'd been using is the water-soluble crayons. I hadn't been using the Inktense, which are my favourites, but I was practicing with the water-soluble crayons. Again, practicing eye shapes, deciding, you know, did I want, you know, the really large eyes, or again, the more I practiced, the more I realised I wanted a realistic face, but I wanted something that I could create and make up myself. Here's Frida Kahlo. I enjoy her work, and so I practiced some of her images of her from photographs. And I'd mostly done a lot of work from photographs. This is where I started using acrylics and Inktense pencils, and that's the vibrancy, and that's where you can see the difference between, say, something like this and this. So this is like, I practiced using gesso, Inktense pencils, and some acrylic. So that's it. And then stories. So this is a story that I wanted to continue, but it might just be something that I complete and it'll be a painting. But practicing shapes, again, use this, use it as a space for you to work in. I made some stamps in this one, and so I created the face from the stamp, and so I wanted to see if using the stamp I could then create different faces or different expressions on the faces from that same stamp. Stamps were quite easy to make, and then I went through a phase. The last few pages I went through a phase where I was expressing more in words, and I wanted to practice words and imagery. And this says, there was a change needed. I felt that I wanted to change but didn't know how or what to do. So you can write, say, how you're feeling or something that you're feeling, you know, do not be afraid, revelation, love yourself. And then this one, again, it's about unfolding, growing, revelations. And this came after all of this. So, you know, it's when you push through that things start to come through. I had to go through a period of renewal and enable my heart to heal, to reflect and recharge my batteries. What does that say? Be who God called me to be. I needed to be there for myself and love me for who God called me to be. I love these pages. They're just so... It just says so much. Open. I had to let the real me out. My destiny awaits me and my true purpose unfolds. Making room. So I love these. Some of them, again, not necessarily finished. This, I think I was changing her face or putting her face on. But I'm going to be doing one of the pages, and I might just show you one of these or do something on here. So there's there's pages that haven't yet been completed, so I would possibly, I'm not going to promise, show you how I would work on that page or complete a page. So here is a page that I've done that I didn't particularly like. So again, I can show you what I would do with that particular page. So that's the book. As you've seen, you've seen from start to finish the kind of some of the things that I've done in there, and these are great resources for future work. Like, I'm thinking even the stuff that I used to do, these would make, because I'm doing stuff in clay. There's an artist called Kimi Cantrell, and he does a lot of these masks, and this would make a really nice figure mask type, and then the patterns. And then the other thing you can do, depending on what you do in yours, but there was the, where is she now? The lady that I did with this one. So I'm thinking, I really like these patterns, and I'd love to do something with this particular figure. So what I could do is take a photograph, extract this figure, and put this into a digital program. So there's so much you can do when you think about, when you look back on your journals, or if you're starting a journal, maybe have, a space where you can just mess about, and as I say, I use this to practice ideas, to try things. When I did these particular girls, I wanted to create different, as I said, little characters. At the time, it wasn't working, but now these could actually be, something that could work. So, and as I say, some of the digital stuff, some of the pieces of work that I went over because it wasn't working for me, I can go back into them and say, okay, well, I want to do something with this. So that's the first journal. I hope you enjoyed going through it with me and looking through some of the pages, and I hope that maybe you were inspired in some way, and it has helped you to maybe think about something that you can do. And as I say, even just going through it again, I'm thinking, I want to do something with that page, or I want to do something with that image. I want to create something with that image. Even this one, there's so many that I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I want to finish that. Oh yeah, I want to do something with that. So a challenge for me can always be, what you do with a page that you don't like. Well, it's not really a challenge, because if I don't like it, I'll try and create something totally different. If it's not saying anything for me, I will go over it again. So, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do leave me a message. Tell me what you thought of it, what you thought of this journal. Were there any highlights or things you thought, oh yeah, that's really interesting, or something you'd like to try, something you'd like to see me do. I'm going to take a page, I haven't yet decided, and I'm going to work it and just do something very simple, show you how I would change a particular piece. And I will link the other video to this, and what I might do actually is do the see, I don't want to spend time having to edit, because it's important that I get these, showing you the books. So what I'm going to do is, after I've shown you all the books, I'm going to be working through some of them, maybe all of them, but that'll be another 30 days, a different 30 days. So for now, what I'm going to do is show you the books, as we flip through, go through it, talk about inspirations behind some of them, and after we've finished all the books, I'll go through and work on some and show you. All right, so thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Leave a comment and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.